Hey, I am in Nice. 20 hours ago, I decided to come to Nice on an art trip, and now we are finally here. I'm going to take you along with me for the next 3 days. This video is a beautiful summary of an amazing time. So whether you are just interested in going to the French Riviera, whether you love art supplies, urban sketching, creating art on the go, seeing nature, or you just want to see Nice from the perspective of an artist's eyes, then this is the video for you. We ended up here by chance, but I tell you now, although completely unexpected, Nice was like the perfect, beautiful place for artists. And I'm going to share exactly why throughout this video. So get comfortable, grab a drink, grab a sketchbook if you want to treat this as a virtual art retreat, and join me in Nice. One of the sketchbooks that I brought with me for this trip is actually a sketchbook that I hadn't used before. Wild, I know. But a good way to get familiar with the sketchbook and also start it is by doing these quick sketches of your art supplies. Not only are they pretty to look at, but it's also functional because I'll be able to look back and see the colors that I took with me to Nice, and I can also see how the paints work in this paper. And I did all of this as I was waiting for my sister to join me. As you can probably tell, I am super excited for this trip, and I really want the focus of it to be on creating art. And so I'm really trying to hit the ground running with creating art like as quickly as possible, quick sketches here and there wherever I have a few minutes, but also maintaining balance. So I sketched the plane that I could see from the outside, but while on the plane I relaxed, and I just wanted to show you that I brought a fountain pen and it was fine. You just have to hold it upright. Flight is relatively short, it's only 1.5 hours, and it's crazy to think how with such a journey time you can end up being somewhere that is completely different and super bright, sunny, and just cheerful, because before you know it, we're finally in Nice. It's also kind of wild to think that 24 hours ago I had no idea that I would be in France the next day. And that's because I love to travel, but I hate to plan. This is the result, and it's actually probably a lot cheaper than you think it is. That's a story for a separate video. From the airport to our hotel was just under an 18-minute drive. For reasons unknown, taking the tram would have cost us the same amount as just catching a Bolt. So in the end, we gave up on trying to get the tram and we caught a Bolt and went to the hotel. We did get there before check-in though, so we just dropped off our heavy bags, and then I carried my sketchbook, a few art supplies, and headed out to explore Nice. I can tell you now, the cardigan was too much. After walking for like 10 minutes, I was scorching hot. Special shout out to my sister, who was the camera woman and dropped everything that she had to get done to come with me to France to film this video and have a wonderful trip. Let me know what you're like when you're on holiday. Are you super organized, or are you like me, as you can probably tell, quite spontaneous and just go with the flow? We had no idea where we were going. We were just aiming towards the sea, and in doing so we found this car show that was going on, a jazz band that I'll show you a little later, and this wonderful restaurant that had some delicious food and some stunning views. Oddly enough, they didn't sell any French fries or chips or anything like that. They only had sweet potato fries, and it just so happens that I love sweet potato fries. So after devouring my food in record time, I decided to sit and sketch and paint the view that we could see, as well as the planes that I had sketched out before. It's going to be different for everyone, but for me, what I love is capturing the essence or the feeling or the memories of where I am on holiday, or where I am traveling, or when I'm in a specific new space. Sometimes it's just easy to start simple and then work your way up. So I initially started with just pencil sketches, and by the end of it I was doing mixed media works, and you're going to see that throughout this video. And I know that everything isn't going to be picture perfect, but it's going to have a character, and it's going to remind me of sitting there chatting with my sister as she tried to get all these angles for me. And the waiter, who was super grumpy until I started singing, oddly enough, and then he was like the nicest guy ever, which was really funny. On the way back to the hotel, we saw and listened to this really cool jazz band playing by the beach. I've included part of their set because if it inspires you to create, I think you should go for it. It really did inspire me to draw something really playful and just really listen to the music, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you do too. was for artists, it's the opera.
Oh.
I am not the biggest ice cream eater until I leave the UK. And then all of a sudden, it's like it's all I can think about. So I got my favorite flavor, which is vanilla, and my sister got mint and chocolate chip. And then it was finally time to check in. So we headed back to the hotel. That it's only now on editing that I realized that it has a completely different name at the front of the hotel compared to what we booked. We booked the Best Western Hotel. However, it says La Messina at the front. Who knows why? This is what the hotel room looks like. It was really nice and lovely. We had a view of the city from our balcony. The balcony also had a little table and some chairs so that we could sit there, and I do end up painting there a little later. And yeah, it was really nice. To be completely honest, this is the second room that we got. The first room that we were put in was really, really small, like so much smaller than this one, even though they are the same price and the same kind of category. I'm not sure why. They did end up kindly moving our room because that room, the first one, also had a pigeon nest outside with a pigeon, and I I just could not. So yeah, so they moved us to this nicer room and we had no issues from there. If I had to give a review, which no one has asked for, I would say that although it's called a 4-star hotel, this is more like a 3-star hotel in a really nice location. So location, I can't fault it, like 5-minute walk and you're on the beach and it's just beautiful. It's really near Old Town as well. But as for like the amenities and everything else, is definitely giving 3-star hotel vibe. Hey. Hey, so I just want to take a few moments to show you some of the art supplies that I brought with me on this trip. If you've seen my art vlogs before, then you know that every time that I tend to travel, I tend to start thinking about the colors that I think I'm going to see, the art I think I want to create. And that is ultimately what will dictate what supplies I bring with me. I'm not even gonna lie. Packing this time was so hard, and I don't know why. I really need to like narrow down I guess like a true grab and go kit that I can go back to time and time again so that I know what I'm taking with me. But anyway, this is what I eventually settled on. So these are these are most of the supplies that I've brought with me for my trip to Nice. And I'm gonna make a separate video just highlighting why I've brought them as well as how I use them. But I'm really excited to show you not only Nice and the trip, but also some of the art that I'm going to create using them. Let me know roughly how many art supplies do you tend to bring with you when you go on holiday, or rather when you're going on an art trip. One of the reasons that I really wanted to come here is I wanted to dedicate some more time to really, you know, creating art while abroad, creating art while traveling, figuring out what kind of art supplies I'm drawn to, figuring out what kind of things I like to create, as well as pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and creating things that I wouldn't normally. Because I guess one of the beauties of going on holiday is that whether you love sketching people, landscapes, food, or anything, there is something to do while you're away. So we are going to explore Nice. It's currently like 8 p.m.-ish, and to be fair, we're not really hungry. Could maybe do with a bit of a snack. But yeah, it'll be nice to see and explore Nice at night and see how it is, and is it lively, is it quiet, and then come back. The touristy parts were still lively, so we bought a pizza, and on the way back we saw this lovely gallery that was full of absolutely stunning art by an artist. We walked past the fountain, and before you knew it, that was the end of a very exciting day one.
Yeah.
Maybe we should walk and be not in the road.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm worried for you because I can see
me?
the cars coming.
They can see me. I'm wearing a bright shirt. This is even recorded. Let me even stop.
So, just finished breakfast, and we were heading to the antique market, which we thought was miles away, but we've just stumbled upon it, and it's right here. So, that's good. I wasn't sure we were going to make it in time. These are all paintings. Oh, they have Gauguin. That is interesting. Feels fitting because at the moment we're looking at doing master studies. And I know people have mentioned his use of colors in my videos. So I've always kind of been curious about his work. But yeah, I feel like I keep searching to find art supplies and the search continues because I haven't been able to find any as of yet. But can you see what you're recording?
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm just
I knew
checking.
Mum always asking me that, like, bro.
This painting is so beautiful. In particular, like just all the colors in it. It's really, really beautiful. Do you think we'll get lucky and find art supplies? Like the good sister that I am, we have spent like an hour looking at the antique markets. I haven't found any art supplies, but when I looked online, I did find that there is an art store nearby. So we are going to finish up here and then head off to the art store before starting the tour. Before heading to the art store, going to the beach just felt irresistible. So we took a very quick walk there to just sit and listen to the waves and look around. And I'm going to share just a few clips from there so that you can also get a little bit of a glimpse of me. Despite how beautiful and inviting the water looks, and despite it being really warm outside, it's still definitely way too cold to go into the water, unfortunately, and it was still definitely freezing. But it was so nice to just sit and listen to the waves. So we found this art store and they have a version of it in the UK and Germany as well, but I found the French version. So we're just going to take a look around, and if I can see anything that I like, then I'll get it. This art store was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It was full of watercolors, of gouache, of acrylics, Neocolor 1s, 2s, pencils, just absolutely everything. So it was actually really delightful to walk through, and I felt like a child in a candy store. I have a separate video where I share not only the art stores that I went to in France in more detail, but also all the art supplies that I bought from there, and I will leave the video linked down below for you. But here I'm just showing you a few snippets of the things that caught my eye, either because I was curious because I hadn't seen or used them before, or things that I have been considering getting, but I go in more detail in that separate video. If you are wondering why I keep bursting into random laughter, essentially for reasons unknown, I find it really hard to act as if the camera isn't there. So the only way that I could get candid shots was basically my sister acting like an absolute stalker and lurking to get the most interesting of angles, and when I would see her I would laugh. So it's a theme that carries on throughout this video, like here for example where I'm dancing. Some of these shots I didn't even see until editing, so I didn't even know when they took place. So not only do I appreciate her coming, but I am genuinely impressed by her grind to get shots like this as well. I have this. I don't have this actually, but it's nice. I have this. I quite like this one. Might be a nice colour to add on. The bottles are too big for me to take back with me.
What is it?
It's matte acrylic paint. If you're enjoying this video and would like to see more like it, don't forget to hit the like button and to consider subscribing, as it makes a huge difference to me and to this channel. Thank you. Here, I wasn't sure that this would be able to hold my weight, which is why I sit in the most unflattering way. I'm semi-scared. But yeah, it's comfy. It is better than sitting on the floor. Ooh, it's not bad. Is it heavy? It's not light. But it is a bag as well. It's not bad, no? It's like a backpack that then opens up as a chair. So it's actually not bad for £50 if you think about it. Because it will fit all your supplies. And then be quite helpful. I wouldn't be able to take it back with me on our flight, but it's actually quite a good idea. I don't know, I just think like it would make such beautiful landscapes. I'll show you what I got later, but for now, had to run straight back to the hotel to charge my phone for a little bit so that we could go to the tour that was starting at 2, like 20 minutes from then. Name?
The name? The Maison Euphrosie.
Maison Euphrosie.
Maison Euphrosie of Rothschild is better. The house of Rothschild.
So here we are, the tour is continuing, and as you can see, it's just absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. Unfortunately, I think we'll only stay here for like 2 minutes, so it won't be enough time for me to paint, but I've taken so many pictures and a few videos, and I'm hoping that that in itself will be enough, and maybe I can paint it when I go back. Surprise stop at the perfume factory because I hadn't actually read the full itinerary, so this was nice. And I ended up getting 2 wonderful perfumes. Bonjour. Thank you. Oh wow. Am I the only one who gets like enamored by packaging and boxes? Like, I thought the floral boxes were absolutely beautiful, and the soap would have been a bonus. But this is all in the beautiful village of Eels. We are only going to stay here for, I think, like 30 minutes, but this is definitely a place that I would love to just come back to and spend the afternoon in. My tip and my advice is that when you go on holiday, just paint, sketch or draw whatever you are most interested in. Some people may not see why, like my sister teasing me for wanting to paint this hill, but as long as you do and as long as it reminds you of the time and the place and you enjoy it, that's what counts. So basically this is what this inside joke is all about. Capture this scene that we will never see again, you know, never seen any.
I saw this in Italy.
You're wrong.
I'm sure there's exact trees too, man.
I've never seen a hole like this in my life.
I'm so sure I can see those trees in London, man.
My whole life, never. My sister was just teasing me because of where I decided to stop and paint and what I was looking at. But honestly, I was truly in love with everything that I was seeing. So even like the rocks I wanted to paint.
The sign is cute.
Oh yeah, no, but I'll let it dry and continue walking. Alas, time was limited and our driver was going to come back soon, so we decided to move up the hill so that we could see the beautiful view. And we eventually get there just about in time before we have to run back. I really enjoy creating art vlogs that are immersive and inspiring, and so I've left a lot of the clips in, I've left the sounds in and got all these different angles because I know that I don't fully know what is going to inspire you to want to create. However, if you've always wanted to paint Nice and there's a scene that you want to pause and recreate, that's a landscape, by all means feel free to do so. I really like these postcards. Like, I love the painterly loose watercolors that are on there, and it's funny because every time that I paint with watercolors I almost feel like it's incomplete without adding ink, and yet when I look at the paintings that I love, like this one for example, it's like no ink necessary. Anyway, it's kind of inspired me. I'm gonna try and do some paintings that have no ink a little later and see how it goes.
Inception.
Honestly, this is definitely a place that I would love to come back to and to really dedicate some time to creating art in. Ignore my walking. I wore the worst possible shoes for this trip. Like, I didn't know that there would be so much walking. Going to race back to the car. Yeah, we've got like 7 minutes to run back down to the car. My sister wanted to see the rest, so
I didn't. I just don't want to get left behind.
so you know, had to come all the way here just to show her, because I'm a good sister like that. And you know, she keeps slowing down, taking pictures, videos, unnecessary summaries. In case it wasn't obvious, it was me. I was the one who was delaying my sister, but we always made it back on time. Hey, it's super hot and we are currently in Monaco. So it's not a guided tour, they just bring us here and leave us. So we have like half an hour to just walk around and take in the sun. So obviously the whole aim of this trip is to create art. However, I think it is also worth just taking in the sights and just enjoying and taking pictures and taking the pressure off, because I've tried so hard to like try and do quick paintings of like 5 minutes or less, but it's kind of detracting from my experience. So I'm just going to chill, I'm going to record, I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the tour, and then I'll see how it goes when it like with regards to actually creating art. Oh, there's a helicopter going. So we're currently in Monaco, and to go from Monaco to Saint-Tropez normally takes 4 or 5 hours drive, but they do have a helicopter, which they were telling us, and the helicopter is 990 pounds or 990 euro to go. It's like I couldn't resist the urge of making eye contact with the camera every time.
Now walk.
I thought it was a
picture.
Yeah.
Just go. This is a video, yeah? Can you take your hair out of your face? Yes, thank you.
Oh gosh. It's crazy though. It's nice that they've got this big green space in the middle of like concrete. I wish that you could see just how beautiful everything is. I can't even get all the colors in, or the camera can't capture it. But it is truly stunning, especially the water. We've been in this garden, and I'm gonna put the name up, but I think this is pretty much it. I think that it's the end of the tour, so we're just rushing to go back to the car.
You look really nice though.
I was wrong again. It wasn't the end of the tour. We actually got to go to Monte Carlo, which, having heard so much about it all this time, I was really keen to see, and it was an interesting experience. Not really my vibe, but I'm glad that I got to go. I was so hungry, and the hotel that we stayed at recommended that we go to a restaurant called Hippopotamus, and that's what my sister is laughing at. And like, part of me is like so sure that they were throwing shade, but I ain't even mad at it because it was actually really nice. Like, I really enjoyed the food there. And I know that someone in the comments is going to feel compelled to be like, how can you go to France and not try the traditional French food? I don't like it, to put it simply. So I just go for things that I know that I'm going to like, and I have zero regrets. Hey, welcome. So today has been so full of adventure. It's day 2, and just to catch up with you, in the morning I had had a hearty breakfast. From there, went to look at some of the antique stores in the market with my sister. Went to the beach to look around, and then came back and went on a tour. And the tour took us to some beautiful places in Nice, and then a beautiful little village, and then Monaco, Monte Carlo, the whole thing. And then we came back, but also an art store. And I just wanted to show you some of the art supplies that I bought from the store. I couldn't go wild or crazy for a number of reasons. You know, when traveling, I don't have the same liquid allowance as normal, so I had to be a little bit more strategic with the art supplies that I got. I got Le Franc Bourgeois matte vinyl acrylic paints, and if you haven't already seen it, I'll link the video for you where I essentially did a live stream and painted with these colors, and it was so great. I really enjoyed it. And when I got here, I saw this color, which I haven't got, which is Jaune Naples Clair. So it's like a Naples yellow, a really nice light Naples yellow, and it almost reminds me of a warmer buff titanium. One of the benefits of these paints is that they dry matte, they don't reactivate once they're dry, and you're also able to layer on top of them quite well, which is why I wanted to get them. I got the 80ml so that I can take it back with me with the fluid allowance. And then I got a few random items. So I got a few Neo colors. The color assortment is pretty random. They had a few Neo color 1s and 2s on 50% off. So I got flame red, olive green, and alizarin crimson imitation in Neo Color 1. And just in case you don't know, Neo Color 1s are the ones that don't reactivate. And then in Neo Color 2s, I got ice blue, and I also got this, which is golden cadmium yellow hue. So I got those colors to try out. And I got a few Daniel Smith watercolor sticks, which were 25% off. The way that I use these watercolor sticks is by using them almost as if they are half pan. So I cut them up and put them in a half pan or put them in a full pan and just use them in that way. I don't use them as crayons, I don't use them to draw. And one of the reasons that I love getting these is because they can be an affordable way to get the more expensive colors, but also 25% off. I genuinely just took a look around to see if there were any colors that I tend to use quite a lot or that I enjoy quite a lot that I would want to stock up on and get. So one of those colors is sap green, which is one of my favorite Daniel Smith colors. It's actually one of the reasons that I fell in love with Daniel Smith to begin with. And then the other one that I got is nickel azo yellow, and I have been really enjoying nickel azo yellow across brands, including Daniel Smith. I just feel like, because it's PY150, I just feel like it's a really nice bright yellow, and it's my favorite part of quinacridone gold. So that's why I got those two colors as well. And it's a small, you know, it's a humble haul, but I am really excited to use them, and I feel like it's literally all that I needed from there. Some of the things that I was looking for that unfortunately I couldn't find were dot cards. And depending on the brands, watercolor dot cards can be such a good way to get familiar with the colors that they have. Sometimes if they give you enough, also a better idea of how the watercolors will work, how they will re-wet. And of course, that's bearing in mind if they give you enough of the watercolor and if it's a good price. So I always try to have a look and keep an eye out. And obviously we are in France, so I was looking for some Sennelier watercolors because this is their home, this is where they are made. And they had a few, but nothing that I was like super drawn to getting. I was hopeful that they might have their dot cards here, but I haven't been able to find it yet. So I'll keep an eye out for that, and if I find it, I will let you know. Good morning. This is day 3 in Nice, and we are just about to go and have breakfast. Following that, in terms of what I have aimed for the day, it will be to do some painting, to do some walking around. It is our last day, so I kind of want to catch as many of the sites as possible before it's time for us to go back. And of course, I'm going to take you with me. Let me know whether you're like me, because honestly, I need a breakfast when I'm out on holiday. Otherwise, I just feel like lounging inside the bed, and then that feels like a complete and utter waste of the day of being in a foreign country. So I always try to get breakfast included, and it's one of my favorite parts of the day. So I'll share everything with you. But yeah, let's go. This is the outfit. I don't think they'll care. Just trying to get the view that my sister has suggested. Because apparently what I wanted to paint was boring. I'm just zooming into what you wanted to paint. So I've just completed this super quick 5-minute sketch. I'm joking. But I have just completed this sketch of the view from Nice. And initially I was just going to paint a building and something that I thought would maybe be a little bit easier. And my sister encouraged and inspired me to actually paint the prettiest view that we have. And that is what I have done here. So yeah, I'll leave it for you as well, so that if you want to try and recreate your own version, you can. But now I'll let this dry, I'll pack up, and then we'll go and explore the rest of Nice. Can you believe that a mere 5-minute walk away from the hotel, there is yet another art store? I couldn't help myself and we had to go and check it out. This one being called Shavin. Again, it's going to be featured in the video that I do separately where I talk through all the art stores that I go in. But to give you a snippet of like the beautiful charm and je ne sais quoi that this store had. As I say, I did get a few items from here. I'm not like 100% sure about how the watercolors are going to be, if I'm honest, so I definitely recommend checking out the video that I do once I've tested them out. But yeah, it was still nice. It was still really enjoyable. I kept asking about pigment numbers because there weren't on the actual half pans that I got, and some of the half pans had like their names written in biro. So I mean, it was an interesting experience. So a lot of the watercolors that I got didn't have any pigment information, and the people didn't know what that meant, and I just ended up concluded that this was going to be a set that's just for fun, just for play. I did try to get the ones that did have pigment information where possible, but ultimately these paints that I've got, I'm trying to not give too many spoilers, are just going to be a wonderful reminder of the day that I had in Nice. Right next door there were some beautiful flowers and I just couldn't help myself. I took a few pictures, a few videos, and also found out that there's yet another art store just 5 minutes walk away again. So I am going to take you there with me as well so that I can show you the inside of that. But yeah, this is what I mean about Nice being a beautiful, beautiful place for artists, because there's so much inspiration, like left, right and center. There are art supplies, there's nature, there's cityscapes, there's just like everything that you could want. And would you believe, friends, that just a few minutes walk away there is yet another art store. This one particularly caught my eye because they have some watercolor pigments, and for those of you who don't know, I have been making my own watercolors recently, and thus it's opened a whole new world and a whole new interest where I'm always searching for special pigments. I'll share a bit more about the art store as well as everything that I bought from here in a separate video, which I will leave linked down below for you. But they had a wide range of different art supplies. It almost felt like the perfect middle between the first art store that we saw and Shavin, the second art store, where they had a wide range of supplies from gouache and watercolor and acrylics all the way up to like canvases and pastels and markers. But at the same time, it had a smaller feel than the first art shop that we went to, but had a wide range of art supplies, much wider than the ones that we saw in Shavin. So again, it was like a nice middle, and I'm glad that I went there. This habit of seeking out art stores when I'm on holiday or when I'm on art trips is a relatively new one, but I absolutely love it. It's just so nice to look to see if there's anything different or if the prices are better than I would find in other places. I'm always in two minds when I am traveling. On one hand, I want to I guess see the main sites and the main things, you know. I don't want people to be like, oh, you went to Nice and you didn't see blah blah blah. And on the other hand, I love seeing like the small simplicities of life, like this bakery, for example, where we got un croque de jambon. That was really, really nice. It's good. And so my approach to exploring a new city or a new town is often to make a rough note of the main things, you know, the big thing that I should see, and then just enjoy the rest of the day and go to art stores and go to cafes and go to bakeries and coffee shops and little markets and just the little special crevices of the town that perhaps wouldn't be as widely publicized, and just have a wonderful time. It's so cute that there are orange trees now. And I think that's why a lot of my paintings from travels will be, I don't know, like an archway or a tree or a bush or something like that. It reminds me of the time there, even if it's not necessarily the showstopper. Speaking of which, that is where we go now.
There, you finally. I think we're gonna have to take the stairs.
This is the castle which had been mentioned to us at the beginning, and honestly the denial was strong with me with this one because I was so determined to find the lift. We walked up, down, left, right, practically all around this hill looking for the lift, and I could see the lift, I could see it was closed, but the idea of climbing those stairs was just too much for me. If I don't make it, just tell my mum I love her. I'm pretty sure a man in his 70s overtook me, but honestly, it was so worth it. Like, I loved it. It was even better than I could have imagined.
How you feeling?
I feel great. Like, honestly.
The lighting here is nice. Look probably.
So we are on Castle Hill. We made it all the way up. Normally there is a lift that will take you up here, but it was out of order. But it was honestly worth climbing up just to be able to see the beautiful view of Nice from here and the clear water, the sunshine, listen to the music. It's honestly absolutely amazing. Maybe we follow where everyone else is going. The grind continues.
A lot more stairs than we thought.
Well, as many as I thought, to be honest. It then occurred to us that the night before we'd seen a waterfall on top of the hill and we should try and find it. And our strategy was, of course, to just try and follow it where everyone was going and see if that will lead us to it. And again, this was just such a breathtaking place. We only stayed there for a few hours, but it's definitely one that I recommend and I would love to come back to. I've included some clips of just some of the really beautiful surroundings so that if you're inspired to paint, sketch or draw them, then you can. This felt like the perfect way to end our day in Nice. We just sat down, we chat, we called our mom, I painted, and we just had a lovely time.
Yeah, you know, our collections are very different.
I truly love and enjoy painting outdoors, especially when the weather is nice, when I'm with someone that I love, and when I'm just surrounded by inspiration and I feel so positive and so happy. And I'm sharing all this, but I acknowledge the fact that sometimes painting outside of the home and outside of the studio doesn't come without its limitations, which is why I've shared quite a few videos highlighting either the supplies that I've taken or tips and tricks or other things that I feel have made my experience easier. And I will be sure to link those videos for you as well, because if sometimes you find it to be challenging, by all means, don't think that you are alone. I just think that ultimately, despite the challenges, it's still really worth it.
Because I just got to eat what I don't know for breakfast. Food her plate. So I got 3 plates for breakfast.
I had 2. Yeah, can you believe they ran out of pancakes?
Pancake is finished, you hungry animal. The weather's great out here.
Sometimes it won't be possible to capture absolutely everything. I feel like I could spend a week in this park and it still wouldn't be enough. But what you can do, and what I love to do, is taking pictures, is taking videos, is making notes in my sketchbooks or on a separate notebook of the things that I really enjoyed that day, the things that made me laugh, the things that felt really special to that trip. Because ultimately what I cherish about urban sketching and what I cherish about creating art while on art trips is the memories, is the time, the good time that I was having. So I guess for me, it didn't really matter what I was going to be painting. It was just nice to sit next to my sister and to be in a beautiful space surrounded by happy people, by joy, by sunshine, by my favorite art supplies, and recreating that. And every time that I look down on that painting, every time that I watch this video, that is ultimately what I am going to be reminded of. So I hope that it's a reminder and encouragement to you as well, not to put lots of pressure on yourself, but instead to think about how you can best enjoy the moment and immortalize that in your sketchbook. Just have something that makes it really special. A funny thing happened when we were on the way back. We saw an artist, and I'm gonna have his card up here as well so that you can follow him on Instagram, because not only was he really kind and sweet and let us video and chat with us and shared a bit about his art journey with us, but also his art was absolutely beautiful. Part of me is scared that he will one day see this video, but I got so shy. It's like I couldn't say that I was an artist. Instead I was like, oh no, I dabble, and I was just praying to myself that he wouldn't ask to see any of my work. I don't know why, I just felt very intimidated by the beauty of his art, as if I wasn't on an art retreat that I'd created for myself. That being said, as I look back on the art that I created during that wonderful trip, I love it. I love the memories that come back. I even love this video that I have created, and I hope that it is as much a source of inspiration for you as it has been for me.
If you can see the girl in yellow, yep, she decided she wants to go and dip her feet in the water, and as the good sister I am, I have decided to wait here and carry her bag as she fulfills that weird little wish. Such a good sister I am.
In all seriousness, a special thank you to my sister for coming, for being the videographer, for just encouraging me and helping me throughout this trip, and for a really amazing time. A special thank you to my mom for encouraging me to take the leap and actually go on this mini art retreat for myself. And a super special thank you to you for watching, for supporting, and for being an absolute real MVP for watching this really long video. I appreciate you so much. If you're still watching, let me know by telling me an ideal art retreat location, or saying nice art retreat in the comments, or nice art retreat, whichever way you read it, and I will know, you will know, and we will all know that you are a real MVP. I love vlogs, and this took a lot of work to put together, and it's really something that I'm working on improving, so I truly appreciate you watching. To see all the art supplies that I got from this trip, as well as the art that I created, then be sure to check out this next video and join my art membership on Ko-fi. Thank you to all my Ko-fi members for your ongoing support, and I will see you next time. Bye. You started recording? Okay. Are we even recording? Oh my gosh.
Now walk.
Oh. I thought it was a
picture.
Yeah.
Let's go. This is a video, yeah? Can you take your hair out of your face? Yes, thank you.
There's someone on that yacht. Do you think I can find a husband?
You know I'm recording. She must think she's Marilyn Monroe.